Okay, so now we are going to see how Huffman coding works. Okay, Huffman coding is basically an algorithm to generate the most efficient prefix codes. Okay, so let's say, and we will be generating this according to the frequency of letters. So let's say we have a document and we scanned the document and found the frequency of letters in that particular document. Okay, and let's say we have only 6 letters in that document, and we'll be making a frequency table here. Okay, so for A we have 45. That means A occurs 45 times in our document, and F will occur, let's say, 5 times. Okay, all right. So this will be a very easy algorithm. The same thing needs to be repeated every time. Okay, so that's, I don't think it is going to be very difficult. Just pay attention. Okay, so at first what we will need to do, we will need to sort them in ascending order. Okay, so the smallest value here is 5, so we will put 5 here, and we will put F in under that. Okay, so after 5 we have 9, and 9 represents E basically. Then we have 12, so C has the frequency of 12. Then we'll have 13, which is basically B. Okay, yes. After that we will have 16, that is the frequency of D here, and at the end we have 45, which is the frequency of A. Okay, so in the first step, what you will need to do, you will need to take the smallest two nodes, I mean those two nodes that have the smallest frequency value, which is basically here. Okay, and make them into a tree. Okay, so how can you make them into a tree? Did I do it right? Okay, yes. So we'll make them a tree. So what we will do basically, if you make these two into a single tree, then you will have to do something like this. Okay, this is E, and the combined weight value will be 5 plus 9, and that is 14. Okay, now you need to sort this list again. Okay, so after this is the first step, and then you combine these two. Now you make the list sorted again. So this time 12 will come at the beginning, then we will have 13, then we will have 14, right? Okay, so because this is now combined and the combined weight value is 14, so 14 will come here, and here you will write down the tree that you have made. Now 16, which is basically D, and 45, the others are remaining the same. Okay, all right. So now again we have to perform the same step. We will combine the smallest two nodes that has we will combine the two nodes that has the smallest two weight values. Okay, so that is basically these two nodes. So we'll again make a tree here. This will be something like, okay, so C and B, and the combined weight value is going to be 25. all right, so now we will sort the our modified list. Okay, so let's do it in the next page here. All right, let's keep it here. So the new list will be 14 will come first, and under 14 we have this particular subtree. Then we will have 16, which only have one single node. Then 25 will come, and under 25 we have this particular subtree. After that we have 45, which is basically A. Okay, again we have to perform the same step. We will combine the smallest valued nodes, which is basically 14 and 16, and make them into another tree. Okay, so this is D, and it is going to be another subtree Fne, and the combined weight value is going to be 14 plus 16, which is 30. Okay, now we'll need to sort the list again. 25 will come at the beginning, as you can guess. We have this particular subtree under 25, then we have 30 here, F, and it was E. Sorry, E and C kind of look same. Okay, and at last we have A, and the value is 45. Okay, all right, so we will combine these two subtrees now. This will give us something like this. Okay, so this part is done. We need to open this. Be very careful when you are combining these trees, because it gets confusing actually. I think I made a mistake here. Yes, I made a mistake. This branch will go to D. Okay, yeah. All right, and we had A beforehand. Okay, so now at the very last step we now have only two more nodes, two more roots basically, so we need to combine those two again. All right, so oh sorry, we had to put the combined weight value here, which is 30 plus 25, 55. Okay, okay, so now we will be combining these two, and before that we will sort it first. So 45 will come at the left and 55 will go to the right side. Okay, so the combined tree will look something like this. It is done, D is done, D is done, then this node is done, F and E. Okay, all right, so okay, from here all right, so this was not D, this was A. I got confused by my own handwriting. I apologize for that. So this was basically A. Okay, this is A and this was D. All right, so yes, we are done now. We are done with the construction of our Huffman tree. So now we have to put the values here. So the convention here, you will put 0 on the left branch and 1 on the other branch every time. You can do the opposite also, but keep it consistent. Okay, if you put 1 on the left branch, you will always put 1 on the left branch. Okay, so but I will put 0 on the left and 1 on the right. 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 and 1. Okay, all right, so now we can generate the codes. So for A, the code is going to be, where is A? Here we have A, so the code is going to be 0. The code is basically the path starting from the root. Okay, so we start from here and we need to go to A, and in the meantime, whichever bits we come across, that is going to be the value for that particular letter. Okay, so now let's find out what's the value for B will be. Where is B? Here we have B. So starting from the root, we have 1 0, then 1 again, 1 0 1. So this is going to be the code for B. Now C, here we have C, so 1 0 and 0. Now D, where do I have D? 1 1 and 1. Okay, so E and F are left. We have E here, 1101, 1101, and for F we will have 1100, 1100. Okay, all right, so we have produced the codes that we do not need this page anymore, so let's just get rid of it. Okay, so we have generated the codes that we need for our encoding in an efficient manner. Okay, all right, so this is our code. So let's say we want to encode a particular word. Let's say we want to encode this particular word. Okay, so it's very easy. How can we encode it? We'll just map the corresponding numerical values. For B the value is 101, for A the value is 0, for D the value is 111. Okay, so let's just write them in a good way. 101011. So this is your encoded message which represents this particular word bad. Okay, so now when you when you get the encoded message, now you need to decode it. Okay, so how you are going to decode it? Okay, so this is the message, you need to decode it. So you start at the beginning, 1, you have 1, right? So you search through your data, search through your list and look if 1 represents any of the letters or not. We do not find any letter that represents the value 1. Okay, so we add another bit to it and combine them. Okay, so then we have 10. Okay, so does 10 represent any of the letters? No, it still does not. Okay, so then we combine another bit here. Now we have 101. Now we find a match. Okay, so we'll put B here, and now these 3 bits are done. We will start from the next bit again, and we will start taking only a single bit from now. Okay, so now we have 0. So does only 0 means anything? Yes, it does. 0 means A. Okay, so now we put A there, right? Then again we start at the beginning. Now we'll again take one single bit because all of the previous bit has already been covered. Now we start here again. So 1 does not represent anything. We move on, we join another bit to it. 1 and 1, it still does not mean anything to us. We join another bit to it. 1 1 1. Now it means D to us. So here we have D. So we have successfully decoded our message here. Okay, so you already know what are the benefits of the Huffman coding is, because A, you know the original, I have this page here. Look, A was the letter that has the highest frequency in your document. Okay, so you can see here, and A is being represented by the smallest number of bits, which is basically a single bit. We are representing A using only a single bit. So A is occurring the most time in your document, and you are representing A using the smallest number of bits. So that's how you are saving a lot of bits here, right? Okay, so you can you can basically, and this pattern basically holds for all of them. Okay, so what is the next most occurring bit here, next most occurring letter here? That is basically D, right? Okay, so in this particular case, we D, then B and C, all of them are basically almost similar kind, and all of them have almost similar kind of frequency, right? 12, 13 and 16, and we are representing them using 3 bits here, right? All right, okay. And now we have E and F, which are the 2 least frequent letter in our document, and we are consuming the maximum number of bits for them. Okay, so even though we are consuming maximum number of bits for them, but they will occur very little in your document. Okay, so they will not matter much. So that is how you can basically compress your data in this procedure, Huffman coding. So you will save a lot of memory using these techniques. Okay, so one question that you might have, so why is Huffman coding is the most efficient way of encoding in prefix code manner? Okay, so there is a mathematical proof. I'm not going through it, and that is not going to be your part of your syllabus, but if any of you are interested to know why is it the most efficient way of coding in prefix manner, then I can provide you the proof. Okay, so if anyone is interested, please let me know. So that's it for today.